You're like, well, the economy caused all this. Okay, first of all, it wasn't necessarily the economy that caused all this. The economy also invented solar power. The government didn't invent solar power. The government didn't invent windmills. The government didn't invent the hydro turbine. The government didn't invent any of that. And the government's not going to solve any of that. Carbon tax wouldn't fix any of that. Why? Well, you put people who are driving cars, who are being productive, and tax them to where they cannot afford electric cars. This is coming from somebody from the South. There are plenty of people in the South who want solar panels, who want to be off the grid, who want windmills, stuff like that. There are plenty of people who also still want their gas-driven cars or their gas-driven four-wheelers. There are also people in the South who still want to be independent of the monopolies of the electric company and the monopolies of the oil field. And the government is not going to solve it. What's going to solve it is stop taxing the fuck out of people. Stop taxing the green energies and stop letting the oil field mess around in the patents. Because for years, these patents were restricted. Imagine how many solar panels would be on people's houses today if the government didn't fuck around. So don't tell me it's the economy's fault because the government restricted advanced technologies from decades ago. Do not fucking tell me that. And don't tell me that what the government did was build walls against, if you're so offended by walls, the government built walls against the economy and against economic progress. Don't tell me that the government can fucking fix it. What I see what the government wants is to flood the land and not let the housing market crash. If the housing market crashed, oh, boo-hoo, boomers. You know, they got to keep their house. Their house value is worth shit. And the underclass people that you're so damn worried about living in all these ghettos and apartments, living in all these trailer parks, could afford a fucking house if the housing market fucking crashed. But the government keeps trying to prevent that so they don't upset the fucking boomers. So how about the government stays the fuck out of the economy? And yeah, I get it. Cuss words don't make me look intelligent. But I bring forth some intelligent ideas. And the only reason I use cuss words is so you can understand how serious this is. Let America be free. Stop restricting the economy. Stop trying to change it. Every time you do, it slows down progress. And get the government out of the economy. Because it's the government's fault that the economy wasn't able to produce fast enough in order to avoid these climate things that people have been talking about for 70 years. They talked about global warming. Guess what happened? We banned Freon. That was when it was eating up the ozone layer. Do you think that greenhouse gases are eating up the ozone layer? They're actually not. The ozone layer has been getting stronger. And that was the only good thing the government did in the fucking environment. Everything else has been a failure. Everything else has... It's almost like they want America to be a third world country. You know, I'm a technician. I did plumbing. I did carpentry. I can build my own house. I know how to build windmills. I know how to build electric motors. I could build my own house off the grid. I could do my own plumbing. I know how to do rough ends. And I can do my own electrical work. But I am one person. I'm one person. And there are many people out there who are ignorant of the beauty of trades. You've been manipulated to believe that all these college programs are better than trades. I have friends of mine who can go make $200,000 a year being a technician. That is a trade. No college graduate will ever make that money. No college graduate will ever build their own business. You know, I'm also a game dev. No college graduate will ever have that possibility because they've been manipulated. And the reason you go to college, is to work for another man. You have no idea what it is to be independent. To have your own views and to not follow the sheep. Think outside the box. I'm not Republican. I'm definitely not Democrat. Who cares about political parties when they are destroying the nation? I care about what is pro-American. Take the beam out of your own eye before you can take the speck out of your brother's eye. In other words, we must heal ourselves before we can even think about touching or policing the world. That is a huge responsibility for one nation to take upon itself. And we've been doing that for 70, 80 years. We need to step back, let things crumble, and let people realize the truth and rebuild themselves. And we need not to follow in their footsteps like Europe. And we need not to have a Notre Dame, again, here in America. The burning of a church because of radical Muslims. I'm not afraid to tell you the truth, and I'm not afraid of your insults like racist and bigot because it matters no more. The truth is, I care about life and I care about American lives because Americans are my family. Americans are my friends. Christians are my brothers. And if you're not Christian, okay. But at least you don't want to burn down my heritage because of your religion. And that's all I have to say.